All right, let's see what's happening here. Give me 1 second. So this seems quite dark, actually. Give me a moment. Yeah, that's maybe a bit better. Alrighty. Was this posted? Yeah, it was. Good. Let's go here. Mic volume is very low. Interesting. No, it doesn't. Shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, I guess. What is your volume at, Kirill? What is your volume right now? Reset. Yeah, it shouldn't be low. I can see that it's actually quite high, my mixer. Maybe I'm just not talking very loud, because I am talking a bit, yeah. Let me know. Let's no worries, but let's make sure that you're right. Let me also kind of open it up on my phone. Give me 2 seconds. How do I do that, actually? How do I even do that? Create. Give me a second here. Yeah, so how do I... A stream manager, maybe? I don't actually know. I don't know how to do it. But let's figure that one out. Maybe it is low here. But I did kind of set stuff up. Let's maybe increase the... Maybe I can increase the volume here. 1 sec. All right, what about now? Is it too much? Is it the same? I don't actually know. Just let me know. It's good, I think. Okay, well, let's see if anyone else joins tonight. Let's then see if it gets better. I don't actually know. Mike is fine. All right. Good evening, Mark. Good. That's good. How am I doing? Pretty good. Pretty good, Spectre. And no worries, man. Thank you for letting me know. Not much, man. I'll be investing also time into my YouTube and stuff. So I've been, as you saw, been active. I need to get this number to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So any help is appreciated, but yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Good evening, my best man. But yeah, I need to get 1,000 subscribers within two months. I need this number to be 1,000, right? I have the old channel from like 10 years ago. I just didn't want to use this one, but so we need to get to 1,000 so we can then start monetizing the videos and stuff, la la la, right? I don't know what actually happened here, but yeah, that's the plan. So I'm gonna be spending some time on those YouTube videos as well, because honestly, as much as I love the stream, I don't think it's doing as much as I would hope, which means actually, let's create that. Give me 1 second. Let's create that command. YouTube is probably the poorest medium for that sort of stuff, like generic, organic content and stuff, right? So, unfortunately, yes. Let me just create this command. I see. That's not a bad idea actually at all. Let's see now. All right, good. So that works. And let me just add a link, and then we move on. But we really need to get that YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers within, let's say 2 months. Let's set some unrealistic goals. And then if we get to 500-600, that's still good. How do I change stuff here? Nah. Here, right? Yeah, so let's kind of go here and YouTube channel. Give me 1 second, and then we start hacking, then we start coding. That's a good idea, Carol. Yeah. Submit. Let's do this. And then yeah, so it should be here now if I click it. Yeah, it's good. So we got like past 2-3 days as I release those videos, we're getting people. I can see that people are actually subscribing and stuff. So I think it's gonna go well. I will whatsoever spend time actually recording those videos on a weekly basis, maybe 1 or 2 videos at the very least a week. And yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Give me a second, let me open up a beer. Nothing special. Mark, thank you very much. All right, so let's start hacking, right? Let's start coding. So basically, so one thing that I saw, so as I promised, I started writing articles, right? And I started writing this first article, right? Thank you very much, man. Thank you for coming by and letting me know your status, man. I appreciate it. So anyway, I've noticed that we need just to improve some of the stuff here, and then we're gonna figure out what we wanna do today. So let's kind of start there. So one thing that I saw over here is few things. So first and foremost, shit, did I not even open the VS Code for this thing? So let's kind of, I didn't. Give me 1 second. So, yeah, browser should be there. Yeah, okay, good. So let me just close up a bunch of this stuff. And what did I want to do? Yeah, so let's first increase something. And that's the summary limit. Somewhere we have the max length of 125. So let's make this 250. The thing is, that's why I kind of pleased you guys. Actually, by the way, if some of you have missed it, a few days ago, for the first time, I have streamed actually from the beach. I streamed from my iPhone. I got this iPhone 14, if some of you don't know. So actually, if you care to see how that was pretty cool. It's the first time that how the hell do I find my own videos, man? Jesus Christ, how hard is it? Here. So actually, this is a few days ago. You can check the clip. I was at the harbor recording a video, and then I streamed from my iPhone. So the iPhone, I think the phone doesn't support like some high resolution or stuff, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to try this thing out, and then I was also biking with carrying the stuff, so it was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting experience. Check it out if you want. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to increase this number, and yeah, let's do that. So let's say here 250 as well, and that's good. And the title as well. Let's increase those titles from 65 to 130. Those are very arbitrary numbers, and I really need to write a couple of articles on our network to truly kind of figure out those things, right? Chakra UI, I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Marv, to be honest. All right, so let's do this. Let's just write some articles. So we need to just do a few improvements here. All right, so let's actually publish this. I'm not, no. All of the stuff has been written by me. Ah, I see, I see. I believe in the API we have to increase this. Yeah. So let's actually, I didn't open the API yet. Give me 2 seconds. Let's move this here. Let's search for 65. So yeah, so this length here should be 130, right? And 125 should be 250. Yeah, man. I'm obsessed by minimalism, right? So everything from my office to my desk to the products that I built, they have to be clean. Otherwise, my brain doesn't like it. So absolutely. What the hell? Numinex, my friend. Good evening. What's up? Not much, man. Not much. Been focusing a bit on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna be kind of making weekly videos now, and I think I got the things around. I bought some editing software. That's why maybe yesterday I also didn't stream. Yeah, I'm kind of getting into video editing and stuff, and I did this 20 years ago, literally as a kid, so it's not completely foreign to me. I have my old YouTube channel, so I had a lot of fun. Also, one thing that we're gonna watch soon is we will be doing a lot of Figma and stuff, so we're gonna use Neo4j for more complex queries, right? So for example, we still don't have friend of a friend who liked this, or suggestions, right? So when we eventually have more complex tag system, more complex social system, right? I'm not going to use Postgres for that, right? Graph database is perfect for those use cases, and Neo4j, right? Any graph database really is purely meant for, well, true relations, right? And Neo4j is great because you can describe the states between, you can use vertices to describe the link between the two nodes or whatever, right? So it's Neo4j, or any good graph database would solve that problem. The main reason why I mentioned Neo4j is because that's the only graph database that I've ever used. Maybe we can pick something else as well. I'm not, yeah. Well, yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure. I never used Redis for persistent data, right? So I'm not quite sure. And I would like to keep the separation of concerns, right, as much as possible, right? So I don't know. The thing is, and what the hell, why is this returning 404? For spelling. Which one, Numinex? I've also used Neo4j, and I had a very good experience with Neo4j. What did you use yourself? Ah, I see. I cannot comment anything on that. I have very little experience with Redis. Hopefully this project is going to help me gain more experience with it over time, and obviously with your help and help of other people, hopefully I'll get better at it. But for me, caching generally is probably the hardest thing to do properly in programming, right? And if I'm caching something, I try to keep that as stupid as it can be, because it's already too hard, right? So I wouldn't like to even get more messed up with it, because keeping one state of something is already hard enough. Now, keeping that state synchronized with some other state makes it not 2 times harder, 5 million times harder. So I would like to keep, and don't take me wrong, for example, right, if we introduce Neo4j, that's also going to be hard, because now you have to synchronize Postgres with Neo4j, and that's also super hard, because there's no plug and play way to do that. You have to figure out how to synchronize them. You have to figure out, I did that with MongoDB before. I never did it with Postgres. But either way, having those multiple databases like that and making sure that, everything is in sync, I think that's truly a challenge, right? exactly. It's simply hard, right? I don't think that. Good evening, Namari. How are you? I don't think that there is a way around it, right? Which is why I also want to. I kind of want to apply for some crowdfunding for this project, hopefully on Kickstarter or something, and get a bit of money so we can instantly go for GCP, AWS, and maybe get a bit of help from the cloud, because as we get more and more in time, in a couple of months from now, as the complexity of something increases, I don't want to be spending my time building infrastructure, right? So we'll see over time. Right now, luckily, we're not there yet. We need maybe a few thousand users on this platform until we're gonna need it, right? Yeah, exactly. MongoDB, I've worked with the aggregation framework in MongoDB, and it also has been great. Yeah, but I believe you 100% if you say so. I don't really have experience in that in Redis to that degree like you do, right? So it's hard for me to say anything, right? Okay, so let's just write some code, but super good discussion, and thank you very much, Numinex, for your input. Again, you clearly know a lot more about that than myself, so thanks a lot for that, man. Okay, so let's just do some minor things that I saw. I would really appreciate it some of you guys start writing some articles if you have ideas here on Programmer Network. And the main reason, and I'm going to incentivize some of you maybe to actually do that by me being the one leading the way, because for example a day or two ago I started writing the article myself, and I'm gonna finish that hopefully tomorrow. It's a follow-up article on the video that I released on YouTube, right? And I'm just trying to kind of get a feel of, how does it look like? Are we missing some specific features in our rich text editor and stuff? So if I could get a few of you to kind of put your thoughts about some subject you like in the posts, I would highly appreciate it, right? I have used Neo4j. It's definitely, I wanted to say probably, but it's absolutely my favorite database. The reason why I actually haven't integrated yet is because CTO of my company, Ole, at the Dream Data where I work, he kind of shared some. He told me that they used it at Trustpilot. He used to be a CTO of a company called Trustpilot. You must have heard about him, right? He's my CTO now, and he said that the biggest problem with Neo4j is the scale. It gets very expensive and very complicated when the graph grows really big. Apparently, it becomes problematic. This is, of course, a very broad statement that I just made. I didn't get into details with him, what he means by that, etc. But anyway, I guess, at one point we're gonna add it and then deal with those issues if they ever come, right? So yeah, okay, so let's just do some work. Let's go to TipTap, right? And let's go to the, I don't know actually where, let's go to somewhere. TipTap, we must have style somewhere. Do we have block? Yeah, we have block quote, right? Okay, so let's style this block quote. What? Yeah. So okay. So I assume that we just need to smack the block quote configure. Then we're gonna get rid of all of this, and then let's just try to add some style to see if this works. Let's say text rows 500, and yeah, it does work. Okay. Shit. We had a pretty awesome block quote. With draft.js. I don't know what did I do with those styles. Let me see. Block quote. So we had this field set. Okay, let's go to TipTap block quote, right? Let's just see. Let's see if there's like something out of the box they provide. It's like super cool already. Because right now the styling kind of sucks ass, and I want to see like what can we yeah, I guess we can't really do much with it because I had a super cool component, so we'll maybe need to, yeah, that's a bit yeah, that's a bummer, but that's what it is. So let's just do something here, right? So let's say let's say border. Actually, let's see what this is gonna do. This is a quote. We didn't style it. Okay. Border left 4. Let's see PL 4. Okay, I see. So let's say ML4. What? So ML4. Actually, let's keep it simple for now, at least, so we can we can make some distinction between if it's a quote or not. Okay, so that. Thank you very much for the follows. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And let's say here. So what do we have? Yes, and then let's say PX4. Nah, didn't really like that. MX4. I don't know why I didn't like that though. Let's see. So let's just do this. Should be a pretty quick one, right? Let's just see why some of the styles that we wanted didn't apply. What? Sorry, my bad. Well, actually, they did. Okay, so let's go to the front end. So let's say MX12 just to see if it actually applies. Nah. Sorry, this should be MY12. Okay. Yeah. So let's say actually here 6 maybe. Okay, yeah. So let's not make it fancy now. And let's say border, I don't know, indigo 500 maybe. Didn't quite change it, did it? Okay. Yeah, so that's okay. At least now we can actually recognize it, that it's you know. You got the my twice. Yeah, it's the beer time. It's been quite some time since we had a beer on stream, so I think it's okay. So this is I see. MI twice. I see. Yeah, for sure. I'm not really a wine, not really a massive wine fan, right? Let me just see if Tailwind, if there's something we can do with CSS like this, right? No, okay, let's I have so much beer in my fridge, man, because I have this monthly subscription, so I get like 6 beers a month, and I generally don't drink much, right? So I have like, I don't know, 30, 40 beers on my balcony, all top notch from 2 this small brewery. Okay, so that's kind of fine. This is literally what I needed, right? Yeah, so here in Copenhagen, we have this 2 brewery, and we get those beers, right? So for example, this beer that I'm drinking now, I can find it for you. So right now I'm drinking Das König. Yeah. So this is the one that I'm drinking now, right? So basically all of the beers that I have. Yep, exactly. So you can see I get a box basically. I guess I get the box every 30 days, right? That looks like this. It comes to my door and it comes with 6 beers, right? And I have, I don't know, 40 beers now accumulated in my balcony because I've been exercising a lot lately, running and all sorts of stuff. So I didn't kind of drink them. But summer is coming, so it's gonna be a super good brewery. Actually, if you live within the EU, you can order it pretty much the same way as. Thank you very much, Namari. Thank you very much. Okay. So actually, this tiny change that I just did, I actually need it because the article that I'm writing, literally I need it in the article. And let's just push this stuff before we move to something else. Yes, this is super tiny, but literally very important for what I need. So increase max length and style block quote tip tab component. All right, So let's push this fella over here, and yeah, let's go to API and then just push this super simple stuff that we've just increased. Yeah. And by the way, I need to really remind myself of that. But for those of you who don't know, I've started the YouTube channel recently. So just FYI, I think it's gonna have, and I think it already might have some solid content. So yeah, you know, give it a shot if you will. I think I'm gonna talk about many interesting subjects and subjects which aren't generic. So if you want to kind of get into software engineering, and if you're senior, junior, whatever, I highly advise you to take a look at those 2 videos that I released recently. One of them is called What Does It Take to Become a Great Software Engineer? And then another one is called Remote Work. And I give so if you're wondering if you should be working remotely and I highly advise you to take a look at this. I think it's helpful. It's helpful. Okay, cool. All right, so that's great. Leo, oh my God, I was wondering how you were doing and where were you. Good to see you here, man. I'm pretty good, man. I was a bit. Actually, man, like absolutely, yes. I think VS Code, I mean, I used to use Emacs, Vim, C++, Code Blocks, WebStorm, CLion, Visual Studio. I've tried so many editors, right? So I used Atom, Brackets, yeah, right? I think VS Code is a truly great editor. I think you can make it Emacs. It has been inspired hugely by Emacs. I mean, next video that I'm gonna record, it might be tomorrow, I might record shortcuts video about it. So you can truly navigate through VS Code almost without the mouse. And you don't even have to be in a Vim mode or anything like that, right? ZDev, I don't know what ZDev is. Let me actually check it out. I guess this is something written in Rust. I can only assume that. I see. So, well, yeah. Yeah. So I think the hardest thing for projects like this to succeed, right, is getting another creators to build plugins for it, right? I have no doubts for example, look at VS Code. VS Code is written in probably most inefficient language in the world, which is JavaScript, right? But that's not the reason why it's popular, right? It's popular because it has all of the plugins that you can dream of, right? And I remember, you know, when I had Windows Phone, like a lot of people don't know that Microsoft made Windows Phone. And Windows Phone was fantastic, right? I loved my Windows Phone. It was the best phone that I ever had. The problem is that no creators were making the apps for it, right? So I used to have Windows Phone for 2-3 years, and I unfortunately, you know, had to just move back to Android, and now I have iPhone because it just didn't have enough of apps, right? So the hardest thing for those types of projects isn't, I have no doubts that this is going to be, you know, fast, efficient, but it's going to take probably many years for them to inspire people to create necessary plugin. It's, for example, same with Rust, right? People are going to tell you, hey, Alex, you know, why didn't you build the API in Rust, right? And that's honestly completely idiotic question, right? Because Rust support for web APIs is it's non-existent, right? Like, I have researched the packages, the ecosystem is just horrible, right? It's not as horrible, and it's same applies to C++ and C, right? So it's the thing is, the biggest problem isn't like, oh, there's this new language or new tool, right? It's super fast, sure, man, but I'm not gonna, walk 30 years backwards and implement, yeah. Sure, absolutely. I'm not saying that it's bad, right? I'm just saying it takes time for things to happen, right? For the packages and stuff like that, right? Exactly, right? And that's pretty much also what I'm saying, yes. All right, so yeah. I have used Next.js, yes. I have, yes. No, I mean, the thing is, probably one day if I ever stop streaming, right, one thing that I would like to leave to people who watched me here is to just apply some sort of engineering reasoning to making decisions, right? I never recommend something generally, right? I cannot recommend you anything based on no other input, right? So if you truly care about SEO and things being rendered in the server, then yes, I guess I recommend it, right? If you don't care about that, then no, I don't recommend it, right? But it's always really based on, I need more input in general, to recommend anything, right? I would never recommend React, neither, or any other thing if you don't tell me what do you want to build. If you want to build a simple static website that has a form that sends an email, then I would never recommend anything. I would tell you use jQuery or plain JavaScript, add an event listener to that form, send the email, and you're done, right? So it always is based on what do you need, what the requirements are, right? There's no such stack where you use everywhere, right? It doesn't make sense, right? So those tools are great for what they're made to be, and if their features check your requirement list, then yes, you go with it. If not, then you don't go with it, right? So I never recommend things just based on what I like, right? Doesn't make sense. Actually, yeah. So let's fix another thing, right? So one thing that I saw actually in production is that avatar, when you actually go into single view, doesn't actually render. So let's kind of fix some of those tiny things, and then we're gonna start planning some of the stuff, right? So let's go to single thought, and let me go to my profile, and let's edit my profile, and sorry. So I wanted to do this in the actual development, right? So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. I don't know why that kind of glitch happens. It kind of sucks ass, but I actually do know it was more of a statement than a question. Yeah. So yeah. So if I go in here, I can see it for myself, right? So actually, give me 1 second. Is that the case in production as well? So if I open my own stuff, I see it, right? I see. Okay. So we can kind of clearly already assume what the problem is. It seems that we're kind of using the logged in user state to determine, right, if the avatar URL, right? So let's fix that, right? So if we search for avatars somewhere, right? So it says, hey, am I the author? Yeah, this statement probably doesn't make sense. So, hey, am I the author? Yes. Well, actually, no, it does make sense. Then to use the avatar from the author, otherwise use the avatar from the thought. And then we can already assume here, right, that we're not, our API is not including the avatar in the response, right? That's the only thing I can assume now, right? So let's go back here and yeah. So if we check the thought, we can actually see here that, yeah, we're not indeed returning the avatar. So the bug is in the API, right? So yeah, so let's fix that tiny thingy. Sleepy guy, I guess ZZZ is for that. Thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it. So let's go here, let's go to our controller, right? And yeah, let's fix it up. So somewhere around here, we are returning the thoughts, and here in this query, right, I'm simply not including the avatar. So what am I actually including? Created at, updated at, okay. I don't know why I'm actually including that at all. And let's see, author, so we have, let's see. Yeah, so here we need to, so yeah, that's a bit strange. So it seems that I did include it in that SQL query. So it is, okay, maybe, yeah, wait. So it's probably the actual schema, AJV JSON schema that I have here that's messing up. So let's see, thought ID. What is the thing? Give me a second. What was the name of the actual endpoint? So it's yeah. So let's get here and yeah, let's see. So yeah, it's clearly here, right? Is it though? Not really, right? So what is going on? Get thoughts by user preferences, and why? Yeah, so the query for sure is fine, right? Let's see. Let's check the database here just quickly, development, right? Let's check the user table. So this is the video that I recorded for you guys today about my Visual Studio Code setup. You can see that I spoke about this amazing extension, like a incredibly time-saving extension, right? So avatar, it's indeed avatar ID, and that's perfectly fine, right? So response pagination schema, yeah, that's good. So properties, ID, content, likes, dislikes, comment count, author. Okay, what the hell is going on? So something seems off here. Like, why are we not? Wait a minute, let me just print the thoughts, right? Just to make sure that it's just to remove some potential side effects here, right? So if we go, shit, never mind, my bad, right? I am looking at the actual wrong endpoint, right? We need actually get taught by ID, right? Yeah, okay. So that's where the issue is, right? Yes, params, taught response schema, partial user, yeah. So here it is, right? So we're missing avatar here. And now if we actually get back to, somewhere, right? So if I go to my profile again and I upload an avatar, whatever, upload. Yeah. So let's type some tweet/thought here, right? So if I go in there and we check what we just got printed, we should have an avatar in there, and we do actually, right? So okay, great. So that was the issue, right? So let's push that to production, and that's fixed. So where's our API? Over here, right? Yes. Yep. So basically it's just we lack the avatar here, right? So let's say, I mean, one thing that we can do to just maybe just slightly improve, let's say, like, let's just do it, right? So also what we can do, right? I'm not sure what do you mean, sure, of course it does. What do you mean, why doesn't React allow to print an object? I'm not quite sure what you mean. What was it? Attributes, right? Yeah. So let's just optimize this a bit. So let's just say here, hey, the attributes that I actually only want is the ID. So this is basically like a select statement in SQL, right? In Postgres, right? So you're just saying, you know, do this left join here, and then I want to select only those things, right? Because those things are also in our schema, right? So because we don't really need anything else, right? So let's try this once more just to make sure we didn't mess. Give hug, thank you very much, my friend, for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, let's upload this again, and then we can see how it works. Upload. All right, so let's write a thought or something. And let's see if this is coming from the actual thought. Avatar. So avatar is empty. That's a bit awkward. Oh, my bad. Sorry. We can't do this because we have an avatar ID field, and avatar is a virtual field. So we have this as a virtual field because what we actually store when you upload an image, I'm using Cloudflare images. So if you're wondering where are those images actually being uploaded, I'm using Cloudflare images. So I could have used, you know, AWS S3 bucket or GCP, you know, cloud storage or whatever. But I'm using Cloudflare images. It's a super amazing service because it has some image transformation stuff, And basically what's happening here, when we upload an image, I store the ID of that image, and then I just concatenate in the API. I have a virtual field in a database, and then I concatenate that ID with the rest of the Cloudflare URL. So essentially, yeah, the reason why we actually can't do this is, anyway, we don't actually have to do it. Let's, absolutely irrelevant detail. I just wanted to, yeah. So add missing field to AJV JSON schema. Yeah, so let's push this, and it should be live in like 3 minutes when our GitHub Actions finish. Actually, give me 2 seconds here. Yeah. Did I play this? Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's also good. So that's just another tiny bug I saw as I'm trying to click around every day and break things. That's one of the small things I saw. Yeah. So the thing is, reveal the password and login. Reveal the password and login. I mean, we could do that now if there's a native way to do it. Is there? Let's ask ChatGPT, right? Is there a native way to show password and HTML password? Do you have to save all the user information to their cookies, or you can pull it from DB? GTX, I think that's a very general question. Depends on the context. No, you generally don't store. Well, first of all, you can't store everything in a cookie anyway, because cookie has a max length. So your cookie wouldn't be valid and your authentication wouldn't work, right? So cookie has a max length. right? So technically, even if you would want, it has 4096 bytes, so you can't really store whole thing unless it's lower than this. So no, you don't really store a whole user in a cookie, no. That's a short answer. Like if you want more context, then you have to tell me what do you actually want, right? You can store it in local storage. Local storage has a limit of 5 megabytes per key. So yes, you could technically store it in local storage, yes. So yes, local storage would work, IndexedDB would work. IndexedDB, I think I don't actually remember, it's been quite a while since I worked with the Dexy.js and IndexedDB, but it had quite a large limit. I think back in the day you could increase that limit. Now I think it's quite a large one, yes. Keep in mind cookies and local storage, while both considered web storage, they're fairly different and they serve different use cases, right? You can do that, absolutely. You can do that, but you have to, again, that is very hard, right? Because you have to implement some sort of synchronization strategy on, for how long is that data accurate before it's no longer accurate, right? So you need to have some sort of a job that figures out, for how long is that data actually valid that's stored in the browser, right? Of course, you want to make sure that you don't store any sensitive data like user email, user password and stuff like that, because clearly you know why, right? So but you can do that depending on the simplicity or complexity of the app, right? But yes, you could definitely do that, yes. Yeah, you can definitely do that, yes. Okay, so some of you have let's implement this. I think Marv wanted this, so let's do that. So let's CDF, let's say NVM use, let's say pnpm run storybook, and let's implement that, right? No, I don't think that I have it. No. Where is it? I don't think I have it. No. GTX, thank you very much for the follow, dude. I don't know where it is. Where do you see it? Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, man. Let's fix that right away. I actually know what the issue is. So let's go. Probably the type of the input isn't password, right? And that's the case, right? So that's the problem. Okay, actually it is a password. Well, okay, then I don't actually know. So let's go to sign up. Then I genuinely don't know what the problem is. Okay. So somebody implemented this, yeah. What's your approach when learning a new technology framework you read? My approach is to just take an app that I've already built and try mimicking that in a new thing. I mean, again, I've interviewed a person a couple of days ago, and anyway, not to get into those private details. The thing is, if you focus on truly internalizing the things you learn, if you truly understand the patterns that emerged and then that all of those modern frameworks are composed of, then you don't need to think about it. Think about this. Let me give you a hint, right? So back in the 90s, right, we had only the DOM API, which we still only have, right? We had document object model, right? Which is how every single utility today, library, React, Angular, Ember, Knockout, etc., all of them interface with the actual document tree using the DOM, right? Now, so that hasn't changed, right? Now, in the 2000s and stuff, we had jQuery, Then we had a bit later, we had Ember.js, we had Knockout.js, then Angular.js came out. Fast forward, we had React, Vue, etc. Right? Now, what's in common to all of those technologies, right? Well, what's common is that you always have to, render something on the screen. Then you deal with some state, right? You deal with some CSS, and then and apps today they're data driven in a sense that you have some object or objects, and then you render, you loop through them. So back in the 90s and 2000s, right, what we did, a lot of people directly manipulated the DOM. So for example, if you wanted to update the value of a span, you had a span, that had some text. What you would do is you would say, hey, document.get element by ID, and let's imagine this span was called, span, and then you would change the text inside of it directly, right? So we're no longer obviously doing that. We are now dealing with where we're running functions on data, and then when the data changes, the view changes, we render something else on the screen, right? So why am I saying this? Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because in this infinite list of technologies it's your new brand shiny and obviously way better JS framework, right? And this new brand shiny and obviously way better JS framework does the same shit like everything past 20 years. It also reads some data. It also deals with some state. It renders something on the screen. So why did I just say all of this past 3 minutes? Because you asked me what's my approach to learning new technologies, and the approach it's very clear. It's like, okay, in those 15 different previous tools I used, what is the difference between this one? So as long as you understand, the basic concepts of what you're doing, then you can learn any of those new frameworks in 3-4 days, right? It's not rocket science. So instead of focusing on documentation and wasting your time with the mega low-level details of a tool, just ask yourself, hey, how do I render some crap on the screen? How do I add an event listener to some event, right? We also forgot yet. So this is literally what the whole front-end world is. People make it look, more clever, more hard with complex names, and stuff like that. But the reality is, so this is how the whole internet works. So if you're, sorry if it was condescending or something. I'm not trying to be a smartass, right? But instead of focusing on the tool, focus on the action that you want to do. You know what you want to do, right? If we would switch this React now for something else, we know what we want to do, right? I think amongst many things that I'm trying to say, maybe another thing that I'm trying to say is like, don't overthink it, right? It's literally just this and this, and it's always gonna be. So until we start truly maybe utilizing, I don't know, WebAssembly, or we can build, native apps in some other way for the browser in like C++, which I think is never going to happen. This stuff, and as long as this stuff is the interface between JavaScript and the browser, we are kind of stuck to the ways that we know now. Because all of this stuff here, all of this gibberish here, really, right, at the end of the day, is still interfacing with the browser through this, right? So at the end of the day, it's like, there's no way around it, right? You always go through this thing, now only in different way, So yeah, that's how it is. And when it comes to simplicity of programmer network, that is my absolute obsession, right? That's why when you go here, regardless of the lack of features and stuff, I only want things to be there if they're truly necessary, right? Again, as I've spoken many times, when you go to most of the websites out there, they have like shit tons of sidebars. Like if you go, many times I have spoken about DevTO, for example, right? Like, look at this gibberish, right? The only reason why this exists is to fill in the space. There's no other reason. Make a difference on dev as a tag moderator. 7 tricks to take performance of your website. Anyway, okay, we're getting, yeah. Okay, let me do actually some work. So let's quickly do this password thing on sign in. And then we move to something else. So let's see. So in sign up, we said that it works, right? Yes. And it works because of this. Okay. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Micro changes, but I suppose since people are mentioning them, I guess they matter. So let's just grab this stuff and put it there. Ah, I see. So what did we... I see. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let me just open the window. It's super warm in here. I don't know why. Give me 2 seconds. And if you wondered why did I disappear below the desk, it's because I can't reach my window. I have to crawl below the desk. Luckily, you can see that I'm standing, right, when I'm streaming. So that's why. I don't know, man. It's super warm in here. I don't know why. Maybe, wait. I have updated the BIOS of this insane computer. Let me check the core temperature, maybe. Because right now I'm finally using... Ah, shit, man. Yep. So look at this. So the temperatures are way off. So that's the problem, right? Because I have... Ah, wait a minute. Wait. Let's just do one thing. I think there's something... What was it? Wait, give me 2 seconds. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yep. Keep in mind, guys, this is a 16-core CPU, right? And DDR5, right? So this is a... this is a 12,900K, right? So this thing is an insane beast, right? No, I'm manually setting up my fans. I don't allow stuff. Look at this. Look at my memory clock speed. 5,600 megahertz. So this guy is insane, right? It's just that I had CPUs running at 30%, right? Let's see if this is gonna change anything, actually. I updated the BIOS right before the stream to the latest version, and I also enabled XRP, which is this... I maintain my own stuff, right? It's just... Yeah, the temperatures are a bit crazy still, honestly. Like, they shouldn't be, right? Dude, like, I was sweating like crazy. like I'm like, what the hell is happening, right? And keep in mind that this machine is like top notch. It has Noctua top notch fans and everything, right? But I think also I didn't do something in the BIOS, right? I need to configure something in the BIOS, right? Yeah, because you can see this is not normal, right? I mean, this should not be more than 60 degrees, right? So I'll need to go after the stream into BIOS, right? And just because this, I've never seen this before, even in video games, right? Even in video games, it wasn't like this, right? So yeah, this is I don't know what this is, right? Pretty crazy, right? But who cares, right? Okay, at least now I'm not sweating here like crazy. So all good, right? All good. Okay, so we have the password here. I saw your message, Marv. I saw your message about the thoughts, and that's okay. Thermal paste is brand new. Thermal paste is brand new. I changed it like 2 months ago. Oh, this is not good. What? Why is it selecting that? Yeah, that's really bad. What? I mean, I've been configuring my computers, man, past 20 years, literally, right? I have no problems with that. I'm a professional, right? I don't need anyone configuring my computer, right? I've been doing that for half of my life, right? It's not rocket science, right? It's not that hard, right? I mean, again, I worked early in my career as a technician, right? So just need to put some effort, of course, but it's way easier when you work as a technician, right? Then you're fixing computers for life, right? So you have a lot of machines to learn on, right? No, I know, but I don't have any software. That's the thing, man. You cannot assume that some software is going to magically make your computer work, right? That's the biggest misconception, right? Yeah, so actually whoever implemented this is not good. You can't really press enter. So yeah, this is not good. This hasn't been implemented properly at all. So instead of actually having this now, I'm actually going to revert it from here. And I'm also going to nuke it from here as well. And I don't want to do this now. This is absolutely the least irrelevant feature on the website. But still, thank you very much for mentioning this, because I think Kirill has implemented this, and he didn't implement it properly, right? So he didn't do this properly, which means until I want to do this, I'll revert with whatever he did, right? Does the website have good SEO? I don't know. I don't genuinely know. I think I've done all the stuff I could for the React app. Generally, single page application frameworks. Generally, SPA frameworks are not really good for SEO because, unfortunately, crawlers and stuff still aren't too smart about AJAX and HTTP requests and stuff. But I think it's good. I think it's solid enough. Is it the best? No. But we will most likely server-side render like posts and stuff like that, right? We will not server-side render thoughts, right? I think the thing is, I think there's maybe only few places that I want to be shown on the website. and then there's place, sorry, on in the Google results, and then there's, so it is a hybrid app. So for example, articles should definitely be server-side rendered like this stuff, and we're gonna make that ourselves, not rocket science again. And then we will probably user profiles, right? The thing is, you know, a lot of people are signing up with fake names and fake usernames and stuff. I don't really get why this platform is supposed to help people to find jobs eventually, to socialize, to, it's like you create an account on LinkedIn and you name yourself Full Bar. I don't really get what's the value that you're getting, right? But anyway, people do what they do, and I get that, right? It's just, to me, it makes no sense, right? And give me just one moment, something. Give me a second here. Marv, thank you very much for being here, my dude. Have a good night. People like privacy. I guess, yeah. But then they still have Facebooks and they post pictures when they travel and stuff, etc., right? So it's kind of, let me try to just quit this and see. Give me 1 second here. I just want to... Hopefully my computer is not going to shut down or some crap, right? So let me try this. Give me a second. Yeah, I'll need to play with BIOS later. I just want to kind of do something now. What is this AI cooling? I guess I can't do this, any of this now, right? Maybe I need to, I think CPU, I think the voltage is really way too high, right? So we need to get this way lower, because this is why the CPU is overheating. The core voltage, right? This is basically, I think, yeah, this is automatic stuff, right? So I need to disable, yeah, you can see that voltage is really high, right? And this explains the super high temperatures, right? And I will underclock, exactly, yeah. I'll need to reduce this a lot more, because this is pointless, right? I mean, when you think about this, right, if you take a look at this, right, my CPU utilization is super low, right? So there's really no point for overclocking this, right? I use Mac, yes, for at my work, yes. I use Windows for streaming, yes, because this microphone, the camera, the lights, Stream Deck, none of that works on Linux, unfortunately. I mean, I can do that for now. Give me a second and then I can fix this. Give me 2 seconds. All right. So let's see now. Now we should kind of see it going down, because my window is opened as well, at least for now. And then later I'll just underclock it. I think, oh, nothing happened. I just updated the BIOS right before the stream, and I think it resetted everything on to defaults, right? So I think it overclocked stuff, etc., etc. So it's pretty actually, yeah, the temperatures are pretty high, right? I mean, actually, it doesn't bother us. I think it's not going over 100, so it's okay. This is, the thing is, those temperatures on 12,900K are the temperatures that you truly gonna get if it would in very heavy, like, video-intensive games. But there's no point to see this now, right? Like, technically, our temperatures should be at 40, 50 degrees, right? I'm just streaming. I'm not doing anything intensive, so that's why it's kind of. Actually, right now it seems super stable, right? It's just, yeah, unnecessary stuff, right? Let me just do one thing, because I started writing an article in production. Awesome, thank you guys. So let me just go here, articles, and what does it mean to be a great software engineer? Okay, so here it is. I just needed this quote because I started writing the articles now on our network, and this is still a draft. And I saw that we're missing this. Yeah, okay, great. Oh, did I close the core temperature? Yeah, I think I did. All right, I think we're perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about. All right, so actually, guys, so I think. No, GTX. I mean, this has never been a problem before, right? It's just because right before the stream started, I upgraded the BIOS, and then I think I just, because I didn't want to miss the stream again, I just forgot to go back and manually set up the BIOS settings, some of the settings that I kind of, to just underclock it a bit, etc., etc. Because I think BIOS now has this AI mode enabled, and then it's trying too much to figure out. It's kind of overclocking and underclocking itself, right? So that's why it's kind of random, right? So guys, let me show you one thing. So I think what we're going to be doing, most likely starting tomorrow, is I found some super good video about something, and until I see it, yeah, it's this one. Yeah, so I think yeah, like, dude, so actually I saw that some company released a perfume, and they say the smell has been figured out by the AI. I don't know how to. I'm not shitting you, man. Like, I literally wanted to just. There we go. There we go. Artificial intelligence and augmented reality freshen up man's. Look at this. I love you. It's face. Thank you very much, my dude. Look at this. AI, created by robots for humans, is a special edition body spray for young men, which has been developed using augmented reality and artificial intelligence in a bid to produce the perfect scent and packaging. What the fuck, man? Are you shitting me, man? No, but that's the whole point. Everything today is AI. Like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, just fucking stop it, man. Like, just freaking stop it, dude. Like, what is going on? I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a wife already, man. I don't need an AI to tell me what to do, right? Okay? All right, bro. Okay? Don't increase my misery already, okay, bro? I open up a fucking fridge and AI is like, oh, nah, you shouldn't eat that. It's too late in the night. You're gonna gain calories. Fuck you, man. I just need AI to kill myself instantly. Anyway, okay, so it probably will. It probably will. Hopefully, I'm gonna be long dead by then, so it's all good, right? Hopefully, I'm gonna be completely dead. I think we should, Branko. Yeah, I think we should. You open up a fucking fridge, man. It's like you try to take something you truly want to eat, and it kind of is like, nah, no. I'm gonna tell you to your wife what you ate when she wakes up, and you're like, fuck. I just wanted to have a beer, man. It's like, no. When your wife, no, actually, I'm gonna send an alarm to your wife's watch right now. Fuck you, man. Okay, so, but it's a great one. Yeah, it just kind of, yeah, it locks the fucking door, man. Okay, but it's a good, hilarious. Okay, I just had to stay in my. So what we're gonna do, what I'm actually gonna do, to be very frank with you. So what is my plan, right? So what is exactly? So what is my plan, right? So the plan right now is that we have reached some point, and we have some basic features, right? We have profile, feed, where you can add some experience profiles, you know, add your Git projects and stuff like that, right? Now, that's obviously, yeah, very basic, right? And of course, one thing that I'm gonna incentivize hopefully more people to do is write articles, right? So we have articles as well, right? Just Reddit articles, right? And I have so many things to do that I want to do. Let me actually show you the roadmap, or let me try to show you some bigger picture of what I would want, right? Maybe this, wait. Yeah, all right. So if we take a look at this, right? So this is not like an infrastructure roadmap. It's more of a big picture thing, right? So as you can see, the developer is a central place of this universe, of this platform, and it's always going to be. So this is truly a network that's supposed to be for developers. So I really want to focus here as much as possible. And then once we move from here, I want to know that we have really tried to add as much value as possible. When I say value, I mean, okay, you come as a software engineer, you sign up, you know, you can do a lot of things to represent yourself, to try to get a job, to have a nice profile, la la la. So here I think back in the day, which we started building this thing, which is like a CV. You can kind of export your CV for free, and this is like a value proposition feature. So I mean, I know that a lot of people out there literally go and pay those $5 a month services just so they can choose a template for a CV and export it, right? So I think we could continue with this task that I already did before, maybe. But generally, right, exactly, we need to add alpha AI. Right, so this is the center of the universe. Now, of course, one of the next step eventually is going to be creating organization pages, right? So for example, let's say Node.js organization can create a profile here, then people, right? Then agencies, recruitment that have job boards, then companies as well that can advertise and stuff. And then obviously the meetups, right? So essentially the idea with the platform is to incorporate those features to Programmer Network, right? No, I think Leo 100%. I think Numinex is just kidding, right? Absolutely. There's no bullshit here, right? So basically, this is kind of for now a bit bigger. There's more ideas. I have a bunch of them, right? Did you make the images album for the post yet? What do you mean, GTX? What do you mean? So anyway, so why did I say all of this? Well, the next step for us in this journey, right, is we have to completely change. So those past 6 months that I've been streaming, right, I reflected a lot, reflected a lot on things, right, etc., etc., and I realized that we can't be building features like this anymore, right? We can see that due to the stream, we have introduced a lot of bugs, a lot of things that we had to fix past 2-3 weeks. And the reason why those bugs existed is because stream doesn't really respect me doing things slowly. So I have to build something fast and then start building something else, because people's patience is equal to a fucking memory of a butterfly, right? So you constantly have to switch to something else so people don't get bored, right? So what we're going to be doing, in simple words, right, we're going to be focusing on 2 things. So we're going to be focusing on actually 3 things. So we're going to be focusing on Storybook. Then we're going to be focusing on Figma. And then obviously we're going to be focusing database-wise or backend-wise. We're going to be focusing on data modeling and just writing queries before we, develop the feature, right? So Storybook, obviously, you know what it is. It's all of your components and their states put in a single place. All of the components and their states. Figma, right? We're gonna have, it's kind of mixed between those 2 worlds. We're gonna have our design system here, right? And then there's not much to say here. So what am I saying here? Well, the process of building those new features is going to be this low fidelity, I probably misspelled that, mockups by hand. Then we're going to go into here, into this land. We're going to design the feature completely and all of the corresponding state. We're going to create some user stories, right? And then when that's done, when we kind of know what we want to do, then obviously we're going to start programming, right? We're going to start coding. This way, I feel we're going to reduce a lot of time. I mean, this is the approach that generally everybody should already be doing, so that's not in question, right? But I think so far absolutely, yes. And this is kind of how hopefully all of us work already at work. That's how I've been doing past decade. The thing is, stream is a very different thing. When I turn this stream button, start streaming button, world is slightly different, right? I have to talk to you, I have to do this, I have to do things very quickly, right? Because people don't have the patience to watch something, right, that's not hilarious or fully educative in 3 seconds, right? So this is kind of the plan that we're going to follow, which means that we're still going to keep fixing the bugs. Bugs are always going to be priority. So whenever somebody reports a bug, that's going to be always, whatever I'm doing, I stop it, I fix the bug, because I need this bare minimum stuff to be super stable. So whenever somebody, goes to Discord or tells me here, hey, Alex, this doesn't work, that's the first thing we do, right? That's the first thing we do. So for all of you, I'm going to be watching this video off stream in the mornings. And basically, this is a Figma video course. And this guy creates a full design system in Figma. Obviously, I'm going to follow the course and I'm going to be building my own programmer network design system in Figma, which means I'm going to be moving our own components into Figma. So we have them all in there, and then we can compose the UI. So for example, we're gonna move our 3 or 4 colors that we use. So we have a color palette. We're gonna move our components. We're gonna move our typography. We're gonna move anything that composes a design system, right? Why am I gonna watch this course? You might wonder. Well, I'm not an expert at Figma. I'm not a designer. I am actually pretty solid at Figma. I do things quickly. I know I learned the shortcuts over the time and stuff. But I think I found this. It seems it has 600,000 views. So I feel, based on the comments as well, that it's a resource worth watching. So I think next 3 days, I'm going to hopefully finish with this thing. my plan is to watch for like 2 hours a day. That would be amazing. That would be, if any of you appreciate, like I always say, Leo, the only thing that I would ever ask of you guys, if you appreciate this stream and if you want to help, the only thing that I would ever want, I don't want you to subscribe, you know, give me money or anything like that. The most valuable thing for me is if you guys are early adopters and you try to use the platform. I know that the platform is nothing, it's dead, it's, you don't have any concrete value. But I think it is, I think if it does become something, it would truly benefit all of you as well, right? You would end up there indefinitely as contributors, right? You would be exposed there, and etc., etc., etc. So that's the biggest value. Good evening, CPT. So yeah, absolutely. I think that would be super cool, and I feel really good in the morning when I wake up. I take my phone, I open up the platform. Uncategorized. Did you report it? Actually, I don't know which one, Numinex. I know that uncategorized is seen here, right? Oh, what? Is it this thing? Oh no, sorry. I think it was cache or something. Oh, actually, no, I don't know about it. Wait. Yeah, exactly. I've seen that. I just haven't. I don't know why I didn't hide it. Let's. Okay, let's hide that. Actually, why not, right? Give me 2 seconds. Let's fix it now. Wait, what is the endpoint here? Users. Ah, I see. I see. Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, wait a minute. Wait, I see. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. No. This would no. Give me a second here. Okay, let me just, before I do anything, right? No, actually, it's okay. Okay. Come on, man. Seriously. This, yeah, Copilot can be super useful and super annoying at the same time, right? Yeah, it's sometimes really like, because I got the alpha invite back then when this thing was released, the Copilot. I used it for a couple of days, and then I just like, I can't use this. It's interfering with my work so much, and then it's actually still doing that, it seems. Okay, maybe this is actually. Never mind. Okay. Wait a minute, what am I actually returning here? Count rows, total current. Okay. So my bad. Okay. So yeah, so this kind of won't do, right? So we have to say here, okay, sure, fine, right? Shut the fuck. The thing is, right, the biggest problem right now is right, that I have some friends who are like true basement dwellers, right, as I call them, and a lot of people feel bad using those tools, because indeed, GitHub uses your data. I mean, they use our data without, and well, I guess they do have the consent since they can do it, but a lot of people feel kind of feel bad, right, about give me just 1 second here. What's happening? Yeah, but that's super strange. Why? So we are spreading it here. Yeah. So why is it not including the data? I think Numinex, I think that's the future, man. I agree with you 100%. And I think without a doubt, that's the future. I mean, I don't have such perception, right? I don't think that Microsoft is any different than Apple or Google or Facebook. Like, yes, I would agree with you that Microsoft many years ago did deserve the hate that it got. There's no question about that. I think that's no longer the case. I think past 10, 15 years under their this Indian fella, CEO that they have, I think they've been doing great. They released a lot of products. They released Windows Linux subsystem on Windows, VS Code, Visual Studio is free. I mean, GitHub is free. So I have to you have to give them the credit where it's due, right? I don't. Yes, I agree that throughout history they had few decades where yes, they did bad things. But I don't think that they're any worse today than you know, Apple or any of those companies. You know, you know. At least that, exactly. I agree. Agree. So what is happening here? I think Leo, you're right? But that's unfortunately the sad fact of reality, right? Your employer or the customer doesn't really give a crap, right? If you solved an algorithm yourself, or if you copy pasted it from somewhere, right? So I believe that no matter how you feel about it, right, you will have to consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously or forcibly, you will have to embrace the AI and go with it, because if you don't, someone else will, and you will suffer because of that. So I think we all agree as nerds that copy pasting stuff that was generated in 3 seconds, it isn't fun. But that's why this stream for 6 months I'm talking about product driven development so much, because you have to understand and you have to kind of break this boundary in your head, is that we are no longer nerds from the 90s, right? 80s, 70s. Nobody gets impressed anymore if you can write an algorithm or a linked list or any crap like that. Nobody simply cares. I think this is the evolution of IT, that you simply either have to follow, or you're gonna be this guy like some of those 70 years old today. I'm not trying to be an asshole, who still have some beliefs how all the websites should have been written in C, and all of them should be able to fit on a floppy disk and stuff like that, right? So you're either moving forwards with time, advancing, embracing the change, or you're going to be left behind. Now it's up to you to choose, right? This is how in the David, thank you very much for watching, man, and I'm super happy that you liked it. So anyway, in simple words, this is not an option. You either embrace the change or, right? And that's how it is. That's how it has been always, and it's always going to be, right? You're always going to have those sweaty guys who are going to be telling you you should build everything in C or Rust or you know, assembly. You should write CSS in assembly, right? And then you have people who build products and make money and pay high salaries, right? So that has always been like that in the IT community, right? We had this small fraction of nerds who get obsessed thinking that their code matters that much, and then you have people who build products, right? And those 10x people, so in this last video that I released in YouTube, that's exactly my point. The 10x developer has nothing to do with algorithms and data structures or any shit like that, right? There are, yes, definitely. And I'm not even kidding. I'm dead serious, right? So anyway, I think it's all about bringing the value, right? Nobody cares about your code. Yes, the code that I'm writing now, that I'm proud about, I might look in 2-3 years from now and say, Jesus Christ, did I write this gibberish? Did I write this horrifying crap, right? It's gonna happen 100%. There's no questions about that. There's no single doubts about that. I'm gonna look at my own code and I'm gonna say, like, oh my God, what is this horrifying garbage, right? That's literally how it is. I do, yes. I can maybe share some now, yes. I mean, the thing is, right? The thing is, okay, let me just be clear here, right? Um, I think I have matured as a professional enough now to not need to criticize, right? Because I have been part of so many companies and projects already in my career that my perception has changed. I don't do that anymore. Maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I was truly obsessed by code, and then I would join some company and I would be that annoying guy who's just bitching about things. Like, oh my god, who wrote this? Why did they do this? But as you go through the products, right, you realize that people have been understaffed, under time pressure. Some of them maybe sucked as well. Some of them, needed three. Some of them had to learn something in 2 days because their manager told them, and they had. So this is the reality of work. We can't assume that all the software that's built is built in perfect, ideal conditions, right? Because it isn't. There's no job out there that's executed in ideal conditions. Because if you as an observer come into any piece of code at Google, Facebook, whatever, my own code, of course, unobjectively you can find things, right? But code is written by people who get sick, who have a sick child at home, who get divorced and they don't feel good, juniors, understaffed people, etc., 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 right? So you can't neglect this, right? So maybe it's this thing, right? Give me just 1 sec. How often do you use Next.js? I use it only for consulting. So when I'm building websites for clients, that's when I use it. Hmm. The thing is, I mean, I don't think, Leo, you should kind of separate code and this industry from any other job. I think more accurate way to repeat your sentence is to say that some people are just blind to anything, right? So if you've been working in administration, hitting stamps whole day, some of the people there maybe is a piece of shit, right? So there's no correlation between writing code and being good or bad as a person. Some people just suck ass, and luckily very rare that happens, right? So code is not different than any other carpenter being an asshole, right? So it's like we shouldn't take this crap that I'm writing and assume it's something majestic. Like, look at this thing. This is like magic. It's just like any other job, man. You write this same shitty loop 500 times and then you memorize what it does. So it's not that I'm like writing this is like, look at this dot here and then this map. So smart. Come on, right? I mean, you can see that past 20 minutes I can't even make it work, right? That's how much I suck, right? So anyway, let's just revert it. If you can't make it work, revert it. That's my style, right? And then yes. What the hell happened, dude? Did my VS Code just quit? What? My VS Code just quit on me? Is this a joke? No, it didn't. Okay, I pressed the key. Okay, let's just patch it like that for now. The thing is, man, like any person on the planet who takes themselves, in my opinion, too seriously is an asshole, right? Like any person who has a necessity to feel that they're better than someone else, you're a fucking asshole, right? And it's as simple as that, right? So if you're watching this and you have a constant need to be proven to be better than others, you're probably a piece of shit, right? And again, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a programmer, a painter, we are again sticking too much to programming, right? If you have a constant desire to somehow be perceived as better than others, you probably have some very insane complexes and you should talk to a psychiatrist or something, right? Because if you constantly feel that, usually people who need to feel like that are very insecure, right? If you constantly need to prove yourself to others, then you probably suffer from something, or you're truly insecure of your abilities or whatever. Then you have to remind yourself how good you are, right? That's not what a happy person is. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to anyone except to yourself, you know. Every day try to be better than the person you've been the previous day, and I think that's fair. Comparing yourself to others is absolutely useless, right? Terrible at self-description. No, I'm genuinely saying this. I mean, this is my life philosophy. I don't actually give a shit about what people think. In general, I focus on myself and I try to be a good human being. At the very least, I try not to make other people's life worse if I can't make them better, and that's how I live, right? I don't compare myself, and I try to be perceived like some majestic creature or some shit, right? Like what we are doing here, right? What we are doing here, technically, probably 90% of people on the planet are capable of learning, right? Yeah. Well, I'm actually not saying that I'm humble, right? I don't think that I would personally describe myself like that. I don't think that's maybe the point I wanted to make. You don't have to be humble. You just have to. I don't know how to explain that. You just don't have to compare yourself to others. That's all, right? Completable Dev. Good evening, buddy. The point is, like, you don't have to fit into circles. You don't have to check boxes of other people and stuff like that, right? So you don't necessarily need to be like overly. It's not that I'm stupid. Like I think what you are maybe saying, Billy, more leans towards being a bit dumb than humble. I'm not suggesting that you should be this super humble, you know, I suck at everything type of person. Of course not. You should be intelligent, right? I mean, the thing is, you need to navigate your life by logic, right? So you should be humble when that opportunity shows up, and then you shouldn't be humble if the opportunity is not shown. I'm not saying, you know, like be a priest, right? And, you know, like in the Bible, like if somebody slaps you in the left side of your face, you know, turn the right side. I'm not saying that, right? It's just, I think, you know, you shouldn't just fall into this trap of comparing yourself to others too much, because others generally don't give a shit about anyone except themselves, right? So it's like we spend all our entire lives trying to please others, but when you think about it, fundamentally, none of us really care. Like, you don't care and I don't care, so it's kind of a very twisted system, right? But I think let's say, Leo, that that's true, right? And it is true. A company will compare your product to others through. Well, I think we're talking about different things, right? I think we're fundamentally talking about completely different things, right? So when you are getting a job, right? So when you're applying for jobs, you are a product, and indeed you need to sell yourself, right? We unfortunately do live in a very sick society where you literally need to sell yourself. So literally recruiting is like sales. You need to go somewhere, show the knowledge, sure, some hard skills, but that's a fragment of things. Then you need to sell yourself, and you need to either fake it. Most people fake it, like by preparing, saying the right things, And that's different. I think that's a different discussion entirely. This has nothing to do with me saying you shouldn't care too much about others, because this is a one tiny fragment of life, is like getting a job, right? So this is different, right? I mean, this is kind of just an edge case, or a single case where you become a product, right? But I think in general, the way you should live your life, you shouldn't try to be necessarily constantly have a need. It's not about like it's really about it's trying to do what you want to do, right? Not what others want you to do. Or and I think a lot of kids today, due to social media, TikToks and YouTubes and stuff, they're gonna have it really hard, because a lot of kids are online. A lot of them are kind of publicly revealing themselves of their perfect lives and perfect beaches and cities and stuff. And kids today are gonna have actually a lot more issues with overpassing those issues, right? But I think apart from recruiting and this one segment of life where you have to sell yourself, what are the other things that you have to do that? But also, can you improve yourself? But what? But how? Like, you don't have to compare yourself to others, Leo. You have to compare your own progress to your existing progress, right? So you have to sit and ask yourself, what did you learn yesterday? What did you learn 2 days ago, right? Right? So it's not, I don't think you have to compare yourself to others. You have to compare yourself to yourself, right? Which benefit do you have from others, right? But the thing is, right, like again, like when you compare yourself to others, you're comparing yourself to perception of what those people have about themselves rather than the reality of those who people are, right? So you can't trust everything you see online, right? You go to LinkedIn and you see those posts like, every day I wake up at 4 a.m., I read 6 books and I finish 3 universities. By 6 a.m., I exercise and I do 4,734 push-ups. Then I read another book. And then I take another run. I run 100 kilometers an hour. Then I go back and then I start working. I work for 16 hours. This is all fucking bullshit, man. So the reason why I say you shouldn't do this, amongst many other things, is that some people have perceived themselves as something they would want to be. And then they carry that picture and actually represent themselves that they are actually that, right? Cassie, my friend, good evening. So overall, right, you should definitely strive to be better, and you should definitely compare yourself to your previous self every day. But that's the all you can do, because that's the only truth you know. Everything else is a perception and not really full truth, right? If you see some person online and they're completely perfect and stuff, you don't know if that's actually true, right? Came here to say I'm one of the most talented Cobble writers. Brad Pitt's brother in the world, considered. Definitely, man. Definitely. I think, again, as I always say, nobody really asks nerds what we want anymore, right? Those times are gone. Now we have to build products, and that's how it is, Leo, right? All of us do that. All of us are perfect on cameras and LinkedIn's and stuff, but when we turn those cameras off, we are all completely imperfect. We all have problems. We all have illnesses that we deal with. We all have issues. We all deal fundamentally with the same issues like you and everyone else. So never forget that. Just because people look good online, it doesn't mean that they're actually good, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. That's why you can only compare yourself to yourself, because everything else is like when I'm on this camera, there's some perception that I have about myself that I want you guys to have about me. But that doesn't necessarily that I'm that everything I say here that I do, right? It's easy for me to turn on this shitty camera and stuff and sell this philosophy, but I don't always put, you know, my money where my mouth is, right? So it's not that I'm not doing some of those things. So that's why I say, I mean, we all say and do things at times that that's just how it is, right? So the best thing you can do for yourself is compare yourself to yourself and be better whenever you can, and everything else is just exactly. I never say and do things. Pretty much, exactly. And no matter, you know, if you go to those shitty conferences, yeah. No, but you're absolutely right. I mean, they're like when you think about it this way, when you think about those philosophers, psychiatrists, psychologists, and when you deep dive into their history of life and stuff, most of them were drug addicts, alcoholics, depressed, etc., etc. So it's way easier to sell theory than to do the work, right? So it's easy, of course. We all know what the perfect life is. If you just only work hard and you only don't do anything negative in life, you're gonna be successful. I mean, shut the fuck up, man, right? I mean, if life was that simple, then everyone would be just insanely good, right? And everything would be just roses and flowers and stuff. So it's like, that's why I say it's ridiculous taking some persona out there in the world, and it's like, oh, I idolize you, you're perfect, you wake up and you know, fart, you know, your fart smells like butterflies and stuff, right? There's no such thing, man. I think on the fundamental level we're all pretty much the same, right? %, luck, 10 being white and rich. Yeah, maybe, right? Keep in mind, I mean, I would agree that in Europe, at least, and in the US, being white probably helps you a bit. But keep in mind that there's a lot of places in the world where being white means shit, right? If you go to some of the countries in the Balkans, where I'm from, or if you go to many other places in the world, that doesn't help you much, right? But yes, absolutely. There you go, Billy. You just confirmed what I'm saying, right? I mean, you clearly create your own luck, right? If you sit on a couch every day, whole day, playing a Sony PlayStation, you're probably gonna end up being very unlucky, right? So yes, I mean, you have to create your own luck, right? You cannot luck. I mean, what is luck, right? That's you know, luck is statistics, right? So if you obviously don't do anything your whole life, then you can say, well, I was not lucky. But that's not true. You were just lazy, right? Exactly, right? All right, so yeah. So actually what I'm going to do now, so I just shared, so tomorrow, right? So what we're gonna do tomorrow, we're gonna do some, we're gonna start, so if you guys find any other bugs and stuff, please report it, right? And and I'm gonna try to see if there's anything that I have to fix. But generally, tomorrow we're gonna go and do some Figma. We're gonna do Storybook. I truly advise you, if you're around, to be in the stream. I think honestly, if you have any entrepreneurship wishes in life, if you ever want to build a product of any kind, no matter what you do right now, knowing tools like Figma and design systems is, I cannot emphasize how important it is. So if you guys are around tomorrow, let's learn those things together. I by no means claim that I am perfect or expert at them. I'm noob in that sense as well. So if you're around tomorrow, Yezda, actually, you pretty much nailed it. Yes. Sure. I mean, before I leave, just food for thought. It's definitely true that there are some people who are born in certain countries at a certain time that do have advantage. There's no questions about that. We can all, I think, agree on that. So if you're born in Africa or Denmark, you're clearly going to be starting from different levels. So there's no question about that. But I think those are also very radical examples. And if you're born in any decent country with decent opportunities, then you can really achieve whatever you want simply if you put in the effort, work, and if you focus on things that matter, right? So, but let's not get into, I wouldn't want this to become some racial or some discriminating stream. I don't like mentioning those types of things. We're all human beings, and I find those skin color and type of arguments completely idiotic, to be very frank, and unnecessary. So let's just not go there, because those things are just intellectually very low, and it's pointless to even mention them, right? So I think I wouldn't want stuff like that to be kind of mentioned here at all, because it leads discussion nowhere, right? So yeah. Okay. Billy, Numinex, Leo, Murloc, and all of you, thank you very much for being here tonight. We didn't do much codes, I must admit, but we did have some nice discussions, and I personally enjoyed it, just thinking out loud. And yeah, let's see each other tomorrow again. We're gonna do some of the designer type of work, so hopefully we can learn something new. And I'm gonna go now and just have just enjoy myself a bit. Cheers. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, Numinex. Good night. David, everybody. Take care, guys. Have a great evening. Peace out. Cheers.